I wanted to get this guy on because he's one of the greatest players of all time. He's on one of the greatest NBA shows of all time, and he is no wallflower giving his opinions. And he also won his championships with Phil Jackson at the controls as well. He's our friend Shaquille O'Neal. How are you, Shaq?
How are you, sir? I'm sorry it took me so long.
All good.
Call in. I apologize.
Shaq, you are the man. Thank you for calling in today. Appreciate it. What did you think of The Last Dance? Did you watch every second like everybody else?
I watched most of the episodes. It was very interesting. It just made me realize how exciting and how fun 90s basketball was. Yesterday, TNT put a 90s reunion Zoom call together, and it was the best fun I had in about 15 years. David Robinson, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Tim Hardaway, Gary Payton, Big Shot Bob, and we spent about 2 hours just talking about old times and good times. And it made me realize, wow, I compete against all these guys. So it was definitely the greatest era of basketball, and Mike dominated that era. You know, a lot of guys went up against him, and just think about it. If Karl Malone didn't meet Mike in the finals, him and John Stockton would probably have a ring. But it was very interesting. A lot of stuff I didn't know. I didn't know all that stuff was going on in the organization, but that's just, the business of basketball.
So, did you never have a conversation with Phil about his Chicago years? Did you ever sit down with him? Never once.
No, but I'm kind of glad that things didn't go well there because,
yeah, right.
Kobe and I were still, looking for somebody to get us to that next level. So when I found out he was not having a good time, I went to Mr. West and Mr. Kupchak and be like, this is who we need. You got to get it done. You got to get it done. And they agreed, and it worked. And because we were, my thing is, if I'm with somebody that they've done it before, I can follow. If I'm with somebody that hasn't done it before, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like doing a show with a guy that has an internet show versus a guy that has a network show like you. You know what I mean? Do I do it with the guy that has a bunch of YouTube followers, or do I do a show with the great Rich Eisen, who's been there a long, long time?
Thank you.
So, no disrespect to the other coaches, but I needed somebody that's going to get us over the hump. Because, look, we could always make it to the Western Conference Finals, but we needed somebody in the timeout that says, this is what you got to do. Boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. And I knew Phil Jackson was that guy. Once he came, everybody's confidence just rose to, the next level, including mine.
So when Phil was having his issues towards the end of his Bulls stay, and you're sitting there in Los Angeles watching the Bulls do what they're doing and being torn apart, you were walking into Lakers brass and saying, let's go get him the minute he becomes available, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
So what did he bring to the equation that you needed when you finally got there? How did he handle you? How did he handle Kobe? How did that work for you?
He brought a resume. So if he says do this, we all know that he knows what he's talking about. Because every summer when we lose, we watch him in the finals. So it's like when he drew up a play in the timeout, it ain't no, that's not going to work. Or, no, we should do this. It was yes, sir, no, sir. So when I first met him, he said, look, if you listen to me, you'll be MVP. You listen to me, you will win a championship. And I said, cool. First thing he said, no more albums, limit your commercials, and do everything I say. And I agreed. And it was probably the best year that I played. And, once we had that formula of how to win, we were just thirsty for more. Because between me and you, I just wanted to get one so you guys would stop talking about me and all that stuff. But after we got one, then I watch your show, Rich, and you'd be like, oh, the Lakers got one, but can they get two? So now I was like, okay, now that we got the formula, let's just keep it going. And listen, if it wasn't for him and Kobe and Big Shot Bob and, B. Shaw and, Rick Fox, all those guys, I don't think we ever could have got three without Phil Jackson at the wheel.
Well,
we probably could have squeezed off one, but three in a row, I don't think we could have done that without, Phil Jackson. And the way Phil handled us, he left us alone. He let us figure it out as men. Like, he always knew, like, look, I'm going to stay off Kobe, because Kobe is a vital piece. You just do what just let him do whatever he wants to do. I'm not gonna say something every time he makes a mistake. I'm gonna just let him go, because Kobe was a special one, and it's sort of how he dealt with Rodman. Watching in the show, the way he dealt with Rodman. So you just let Rodman be Rodman, but when he gets on the court and performs at a certain level, it's something that they needed. So Phil just left us alone. He let us figure it out as men. And that was his thing. And that's why I always say, if the general does not panic, the troops will not panic.
So what did he say to Kobe then? If he told you no more albums, cut down on the commercials, do you know what he told Kobe when he first walked in after his last dance with Chicago? Shaq?
No, Phil was very strategic. So he when he came in, he already knew everybody's personality. He gave us all books to read. So the book he gave me was a book about Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche was a guy that was so smart. He was a genius that people thought he was crazy. But that's the book he gave me to read. I don't know what book he gave other guys, but I know for a fact that, with Kobe's motor, you just got to let him go. You don't want to tame him. And it probably was the best thing because, without him going crazy, without me going crazy, like I always say, we probably could have squeezed off one championship, but in order to get three, you can't get three. But again, the best thing he did was he would let us figure it out as men. Like I remember in the Portland series, down 15, you didn't see him over there panicking and jump around. We came back from the timeout and he's like, "Oh, you guys ready to play now? If you guys ain't ready to play, all right, this year's wasted. This year's going to be wasted. Let's go." Like, you don't call plays and say, do this, do that. He just gave us that one statement. All right, you guys tired of messing around now? All right, let's go get it done. And we as men, we figured it out. B-Shaw came through in the clutch, hit some threes. Rick Fox, I finally got it going. Kobe got it going. And the rest is history.
Shaquille O'Neal, a few more minutes left with the great Shaquille O'Neal here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's get right into it then, Shaq. The conversation that's going to be had off of this is your three-peat against either one of the Bulls' three-peat teams. Who would win that?
I would have to go with us.
Why?
And the reason why is the main factor is who's going to guard me. I think it was episode 4 or 5 they showed when we beat the Bulls. I know Mike wasn't at his best, but that's when Phil created the three-headed monster, hacker Shaq thingy, and I shot a pretty good percentage. Not in the 80s, but I shot a pretty good percentage. So if I'm at the line stroking, and I know I would be because I would love that opportunity, I would have to go with us.
So you're the difference maker.
Yes, I am. Who's going to guard me? Winnington? Purdue? Rodman? Cartwright? I don't think so.
You left out Bushler.
Who?
Judd Bushler.
I don't even know who that is.
But Jordan and Kobe, that would, oh my God. If your last, if it just had you and Kobe, and that's part of the conversation, is that if you and Kobe years had meshed with the Jordan years of the final last dance, problem is that would never have happened because Phil couldn't coach both of you.
Exactly.
Right?
It never happened. It never happened.
Where do you stand on the subject of Jordan's demeanor? So much was made over a couple weeks ago, episodes 7 and 8, of how he rode everybody. He rode them maybe too hard. You've obviously seen Kobe up close and personal, and how Jordan may not be a good guy, a right guy.
And what do you think I did? What do you think I did?
You were similar.
Exactly. This ain't about peaches and cream. This is about winning. And sometimes you got to ruffle some feathers to get people to play at a certain level. And when you're in that position, you have to give up a lot. So, leadership. You either focus on the task or you focus on the relationship. And studies show when you focus on the task, relationships dwindle. And when you focus on relationship, the task dwindles. So I ain't gonna leave Mike out there by himself. I was a butthole too. I did a lot of unorthodox things, but listen, his style worked. The man is 6-0 in the finals. Nobody else can say they're 6-0 in the finals. So, and I'm what am I in the finals? 6-2, 6-3. I don't know what I am. 4-2 in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, like NBA and real life is two different things. You know me in real life. I'm a sweet guy.
Yes.
When on the court, when my name is on the line, whether we win, I get the praise. We lose, I get the blame. Oh, it's going to be done my way. Believe that.
So did you hector teammates? Would you bully them? Because that was a conversation
No, I wouldn't.
About Michael.
I wouldn't call it bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just put it this way, because the statute of limitation on some of the stuff I did what I had to do to win. Because it's all about winning. It's all about getting the parades. Because remember, and Michael also said this, and I thought I was the only one who actually thought like this. When fans come to the arena and pay their money to watch you play, I'm obligated to play at a high level. And I'm obligated to make sure my teammates play at a high level. That's what it's all about. It ain't about nothing else. Nothing else at all.
Last one for you, Shaq. What do you tell people who want to turn this into a LeBron versus Michael conversation now that this is over? That's going to be all over the place, too. What do you say to that?
I say, one, you need to have the right conversation. So if you're going to have that conversation, there has to be another name added to that. Okay? So, like, if you're going to have a three-way conversation, I'm in that conversation. LeBron is also one of my favorites, but look, Kobe's name has to be added to that. So it's my opinion that Michael is the best, period. No, hands down, for this one simple fact only. 6-0 in the finals without a legitimate big man. So that's the first thing I say. Second thing, I think we should always break it down in eras. Because Michael versus Kobe or LeBron in the finals will never happen, so we'll never know. So I think out of respect to all the parties involved, we should just, break it down by eras. But to me, Michael Jordan is the best ever. And if you're going to have the best ever conversation, it has to be three names, period. Nothing to talk about. It has to be Mike, Kobe, and LeBron. That's it. Nobody else.
Shaq, you're the man. Susie sends her best. That's why. Let's be honest. She was covering your team, so it's not just you, Kobe, and Phil.
Right.
It was my wife being part of the magic of that whole time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You take care of yourself, Shaq.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Love you, man. That's Shaquille O'Neal, everybody. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.